Trinity Challenge has really come at a very opportune time for us, where we have built ourselves into a strong, resilient group. We are a multicentric, multidisciplinary study focusing on urinary tract infections, and currently we're focusing on community-acquired urinary tract infections in the LMICs, Middle East, North Africa. We have centers in India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Maldives, Egypt, Benin, and Oman, where I am currently working, and Qatar and Saudi Arabia. One center each over there. Majority of our centers are in the low and middle income countries because I am an Indian and the focus of my work remains there. We had started out by focusing on diagnostic and antimicrobial stewardship in community acquired UTI, but we realized that we need to chaff out samples which may be from recurrent, from hospitalized, from chronic UTI cases. And so we are now planning to focus on pregnant women presenting to the Obs and Gynae department or in the community health centers of our partnering hospitals, which will give us a pretty good idea about the prevalence of CRE in the community. Side by side, we are working with CIRG, which is Central Institute for Research on Goats in Mathura, where we will understand the prevalence of CRE in livestock as well as in the fecal microbiota. Alongside this, we will be focusing on environmental CRE by sampling this community sewage lines to identify the prevalence of CRE in the community from another angle. So you can see that our approach is multimodal. And we will be screening for all the resistance and the virulence through whole genome sequencing of all the CRE isolates identified in our 20 centers, which so far will be proceeding with us with the Trinity Challenge. Apart from this, we're partnering with an NGO which is active in 3 states in India, that is Uttar Pradesh, Jharkhand, and Bengal, which are amongst the poorest states in India, and it has its presence in 42 schools, and it is involved in teaching 42,000 students. So through this NGO, we're planning to impart education in infection prevention and control, in healthy living, and in judicious use of antimicrobials. We have learned from our prior experience that often the doctors are not amenable to changing their prescribing habits, but the community at times is associated with, is often empowered to say no to antibiotics for respiratory tract infections and diarrhea, for example. We believe that reaching out to the community through our community health centers, through the primary health centers and the community health centers, through the community medicine departments of our partnering centers, and through the NGOs, we can do one more interesting thing, which is identifying or collecting antimicrobial access data from 10-kilometer radius of their uh, schools or the primary health center, and we get an idea about what types of antibiotics are present in their regions. And this becomes useful data for us. So all our partnering centers through their community medicine and further additional data from the NGOs will be gathered. Finally, we just want to give a message of appropriate antimicrobial use, which should be, we should take the community as important partners. We want to build on a narrative-driven story by a filmmaker so that the behavioral change can come in through an emotive, narrative-driven platform rather than just cold science. So this we plan to implement through vernacular languages. Apart from that, as a bonus, we were thinking of using an app which could be used by the community. However, we don't have the resources for that. But for our first line, a company in Canada who's working on hospital apps has very kindly agreed to share its app with us free of cost, so that appropriate prescribing following the WHO aware guidelines can be applied in all our partnering centers. And finally, we believe that having a communications person with us would be very useful, because whatever we are doing, it should be amplified so that the message can go to many more people. And that is why we believe that spending money on communication would be a very, very useful investment for us.